Hello everyone, Namaste, this is Shami Harens and welcome back to Your Wealth India. Today we are going to discuss a very important concept before starting our today's topic. But even before that, how about a joke? I know you like the last one. So here it is. So what did the dollar do after it heard a joke from the rupee? Any guesses? Well, it didn't appreciate. So let's talk about this concept that I've designed called FPS. No, it doesn't mean frames per second, you designers and gamers. It means financial performance score. It's kind of a way to assess your financial performance, as the name suggests. It is a kind of a self-evaluating method or program that helps you score yourself out of 100. It essentially contains three categories as of now. The first one is knowledge. The second one is monitoring, and third one is your KPI performance. And today's video is part of the knowledge section, where we are going to talk about this new term that I have designed called money cycle. Money cycle is flow of money into, within and outside your personal financial domain. It's a term that I have coined and the definition too. I think it would be a good idea to create a page on Wikipedia on the same. Let me see. So yeah, coming back to the money cycle, let me explain it to you on the screen. Now this is what I like to call as money house. This is where all my money lies, and it all starts with incoming of money. So where does this money come from? Of course, income. I think probably that's the reason why they call it income in the first place. So now yes, the income is slowly trying to enter your money house, but wait a minute. Before it enters the money house, some part of it gets deviated away. Kind of looks like some data fishing. So what it is actually? This is actually elements like cess and other similar things. So if you probably look really closely at your salary slip, you will see that apparently some big scheme is running in the world that is apparently supposed to benefit me in some way, and because of which they are making some deductions. Now this reminds me to remind you that it is a very good practice to frequently check documents related to your financial numbers, like checking monthly your PF balance, your bank balance, your outstanding credit card amount, and most importantly your salary slip. So this money house is not just a big single empty space, but there are actually rooms within it, and the first room in the money house is what I like to call as asset room. So once the income enters into the money house, it tries to go into the asset room. The reason why I say that it tries to go, because again the smart people thought that why not, let's make one more deduction. So there is one more deduction that is made, and that money flows out of your money house, and this is what you call as TDS at source. TDS is the tax collected in advance from you. Now the reason why I did not mention this when I was talking about outside the house deduction, because in TDS, and that is the tax you are paying, you have a significant control on how much you should pay the tax. Legally, of course. Now after sending this money in the form of TDS outside the money house, the remaining portion of the income finally enters into the asset room. So what does this asset room contain, or what is this asset room? Well, asset room is basically the showcase of your achievements in life. Financial achievements, of course. It contains things like your bank balance, demat balance, PF balance, and similar other things. Now all the things in this asset room will be used to meet all your requirements, and the first such requirement is expense, where all the money goes out of your money house. These are your regular spendings like the house rent that you are paying, are the money you have spent for traveling to Maldives and so on. Now, there are other types of expenses as well, where you are trying to buy assets like house, car, gold, etc. However, in these cases the value of asset room does not increase or decrease, because when you are buying a particular asset, that particular money goes out of the house, but at the same time it is replaced with an asset of equal value. Now, the time has come to address the devil in the house, and the devil stays in a special room of its own, which is called as liability room. This is just exactly the opposite of asset room, and it contains things like the loans that you have taken to buy your house or car, the outstanding amount in your credit card, the money that you have borrowed from your friends to buy iPhone 13 Pro and things like that. So, money needs to be transferred regularly from asset room into the liability room. Otherwise, these evil things in the liability rooms will go on a rampage and will consume your entire money house, and you will be literally onto the streets. And the money that you send on regular basis is what we call as amortization. Amortization is basically the EMIs that you are paying for the outstanding loan amount or the outstanding credit card balance. Now, you would think that everything is over, but no, asset room has plans of its own. It increases as well as decreases during the month. So, how does it increase? Basically, the increase in the value of asset room is due to the things like the interest that you receive from your bank for the money that you have deposited in the savings account, probably the dividends that you got from your stocks that you own, or probably the capital gain that you made from selling off the stocks that you owned, and all this value constitutes what we call as secondary source of income. Now, just like the value of asset room increased, similarly the value of asset room also decreases. This is because of certain assets which we call as depreciating assets, like the furniture that you own, the car that you own, probably the iPhone 13 Pro that you have purchased. The value of assets like this decreases over period of time. Now, you can't sell your phone at the same price that you bought probably a year back, right? So, this decrease in value goes out of your money house in what we call as depreciation. Now, looking at the asset room, liability room also gets ideas. It also gets inspired, but liability room decides to only increase in value for some reason, and this increase in value is the interest that is being charged for the outstanding loan amount or the outstanding balance on your credit card. So, you need to take some money out of your asset room again and pay this interest amount, and with this we come to the end of this monthly circus called money cycle. At the end of each money cycle, based on the financial decisions that you have made in the past and during the month, will decide whether the overall value of your money house decreases or increases, and the value of your money house at the end of each money cycle is more commonly known as your net worth. With this, we come to the end of the topic, but the video is still not over, because as I mentioned earlier that this topic is part of the knowledge section of the FPS, that is the financial performance score that I have mentioned. So, if you have mastered this topic of money cycle, then you should give yourself 10 out of 10 points, and which would result into 100 out of 100 in your FPS score. And one way to ensure that you have mastered this topic is to watch this video for 5 times. Now if you look at my FPS score, it will show you 0, because I am going to watch this video once it gets published. If I watch it for once, I will give myself 2 out of 10, which will result into FPS score of 20 out of 100. If I watch it twice, I will get 4 out of 10 and my FPS score becomes 40 out of 100. Similarly, when I completely watch the video for 5 times, then my total score becomes 10 out of 10 and my FPS score becomes 100 out of 100. Now this doesn't mean that only by watching this video you will get 100 out of 100 in the FPS. No, this is because we haven't covered the other topics. As and when we cover the other topics, those elements will also get added into your FPS score. What I am going to do is, I am going to publish a leaderboard in the next video of the Your Money playlist, where I will publish the score of myself along with some of my friends. And if you want your score to be published as well, please send your score at yourwealthindia@gmail.com. And also please mention a special cool username that you would like to be represented as. So I hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, please hit the like button. Personally, I do feel that the topic that we discussed of money cycle is kind of very important piece of information one needs to know. And also this concept of FPS is something that can be game changing in your personal life if used effectively. I'm very interested to know your feedback on today's topic and the concept. So if you have any feedback or remarks, please put them in the comment box. And to watch more videos from us, please do subscribe to the Your Wealth India YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed already. So until next time, Tata, bye bye and Namaste.